the main the main thing when you're thinking about this enlightenment is to know that it's not what you may have in your head. Those what you have in your head is quite limited. It's and you see that the thing that you truly are is not limited. It has no boundaries. And everything that you think, say, and do has boundaries. You're living in a world of limitation because it's the world of duality, and duality itself is a limitation because it's based on this and that. So it's based on separation. Everything that you know is based on separation. And all knowledge is based in limitation and separation. So that sense of being a person, that sense of struggling, that sense of wanting, that sense of not wanting, of fear, all of that is just based in this appearance of separation. But there can be no separation. There can only be an appearance of separation, but it's just an appearance. I mean, the classic example is you have an ocean and then you have a wave at the edge of the ocean where it meets the land. And in that wave, you have a drop of water that sprays out. And that drop of water looks like it's separate from the ocean. And it has a life of its own for a short time until it drops into the ocean again. But it never was separate from the ocean. It was just an appearance of separation. There's no way that that drop of water had an existence of its own. It just was a temporary phenomenon. And you see, that phenomenon only happens where the ocean meets the land. Now you have ocean-land duality. You have that sense of duality there, you see? And in that sense of duality, there's a turbulence that happens. And then there's all this movement. No, you can move into the ocean, deep into the ocean, far, far away, down under, and there's no movement. It's just still. Everything is just peaceful and still, okay? And then where all of a sudden that which is only ocean touches that which is something else, we call it land. Now there's that duality, and within that meeting, there's turbulence. And that's where you're living, in this turbulence. Now, turbulence is just movement. So everything here, all of your life, is based in movement. The body exists only because of the movement, the beating of the heart, you see? And then the thoughts in your head, that's all movement. You see? So everything about this life is based in movement. And even though that which is completely still and peaceful, the life, the temporary phenomenon of life, that drop of water which leaves the ocean for a moment and then falls back in, that's the life. And you see how tiny it is compared to the ocean. It's nothing, but it has that appearance, and that's your life, you see. So you're just in that movement, and then you're in that movement and you're looking at it from the movement, the mind, which is a part of the movement, the body, which is a part of the movement, and you're looking at it and you want to know, what is this? What is it? Who am I? How can I, and so someone comes by and says, well, you're not this drop of water, you're the ocean, you're the whole deal. And so you're looking and you go, really, how do I get there? And you see, it's just an appearance that you're not there. It's just a temporary phenomena that gives you the appearance that you're not there. And then the mechanism of that particular drop is to believe in the appearance. because that's what sustains the life, is the belief. So that's what goes on. And you're just living in an appearance. And the appearance wants to merge with that essence that is everything, because there, the whole sense of chaos and movement that is, in one hand, the whole thing of life. On another hand, there's a certain strain that comes with it, and it's not, well, it's just not peaceful, you see, not genuinely peaceful. I mean, here you have pleasure, and people, escape into pleasure as if that were peace, you see. But here's how it works. Pleasure leads to pain. And if you look at your life, you will find that this is true always, that pleasure doesn't come as a single unit. It comes with pain. They're going to travel together. So you're going to have pleasure, but pain is coming. And then you're going to have pain, and you forget pleasure is coming too. And it just, so I love the example I used last talk about the merry-go-round. Because you see, you have this merry-go-round, and you're just sitting, and it's moving, and you're going, by all intents and purposes, it looks like you're going somewhere. But the merry-go-round doesn't go anywhere. You don't go anywhere. You're just going in circles. You're always there. You're always in the same place. And that's life, you see. That's life. And so you think, your life, you're getting somewhere, you're doing something, and all of this, but it's just an appearance. It's nothing real. Nothing ever happened here. So anyway, it's good to have the perspective, and you see, if you can go through your days just knowing the temporariness of all of this, that and not being deceived into thinking that that pleasure is like a real thing, that's something to go after. If you keep going after pleasure, and you're blind to the fact that with pleasure you also get pain, but you keep moving toward one, pushing away from another, and having that drama that you call life, but it's doesn't have any, there's no there. And if you can kind of get your perspective through your days, that this whole pursuit of life, there's nothing to it. There really isn't anything to it. That it and that this life, you see, is a temporary phenomenon, and everything just goes. It's an appearance, and it just merges with all. If you can keep that perspective in your days, you see, what it will do is it will ripen you such that the true understanding, the true that which is, will become something that is known, and you won't be deceived by the appearance of yourself as a person. You have the belief that you're a person, but it's just a belief. It's just in your mind. It has no validity, you see. And when you can walk through your days seeing that what you're thinking and what you're believing and what you're doing is nothing, and then that which you are, you see, the beauty of this is that even though there's an appearance of separation, you see, you have the appearance of doing things, so you have the appearance of thinking things, of feeling things, and all of that. When you can just feel that there's nothing to it, then what happens is that which is becomes obvious. It just becomes obvious. And it's only your belief and attachment to yourself as a person that has veiled you from knowing that indeed you're whole. Indeed, there is no separation. So let's you, if you can keep that with you on your daily, that there's no there, that there are thoughts, there are feelings, but they're nothing to do with you. And here's the beauty of it. You see, you have the pain and pleasure, that whole deal. But all they are sensations, you see, they're just experiences. They're experiences. And, when you personalize them, when you identify with them, and when you start to embrace them as yours, they have a certain value. And then there's things that you go after and things that you push away. But if you stop doing that, if you just rest in the sensation as a sensation, they're all equal, really, the pain and the pleasure. The mind chooses and picks and says, this is good, this is bad, because the mind's job is to keep the body alive, and pain is a bad sign for that. You see, that's all. But if you're not identified with the mind's process, and you're just simply sitting in being, if you're just resting in that sense of being and watching, and you can fully experience pain as being actually a great thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's an intense sensation. And actually, if you're able to just sit with it equally without judging and evaluating, you'll find that pain is really, really great. There's nothing that makes it less than pleasure. It's actually in some ways greater than pleasure. Yeah, I think you learn more from pain. I think if you can come to a place of full acceptance of pain, then it's done. I mean, pleasure doesn't require full acceptance, you see. It's easy. It's really easy for a mind to accept pleasure. But pain, tough for a mind. So, but if you can come to the place where you feel that equilibrium between pleasure and pain, then what happens is the mind no longer is ruling the roost here. And when that happens, when the mind is diminished enough in terms of your personal identification with the mind's experiences, when that starts to fade, what I'm talking about will be so obvious. And what I'm talking about is not in the words, but I'm pointing to it for you. And when you rest in that place of stillness, there are no words, and it's limitless. It's limitless. It's so amazing. You see, like this guy pointed out, there's 7.9 billion lives, billion stories, and it seems like a lot, right? But when you look at it from the point of view of what is, it's nothing. 7.9 billion is nothing. It's no big deal at all. It's only a big deal when you're looking at it from the perspective of one of those 7.9 billion people. Yeah. So I'm recommending that you, throughout your days, let's try it for a couple of weeks here. That you, during your moments, during your spare moments, just look at all of this and realize that this is all temporary phenomenon, that it all just comes and goes, and that it's all locked in limitation, and your belief in yourself as a person is just a limitation, and it's just got nothing to do with what's real, you see. So if you can just carry that with you and see when the pleasure comes and when the pain comes, that the mind the habit is to react differently to that. But are they different? They're just sensations, aren't they? They're just sensations. So see if you can arrive at that place of stillness with everything as it is and as it isn't. And you won't be able to get there from here, okay? Because here is based in limitation. However, that's not who you are. And when you really walk through your life realizing that you're not this person in these experiences, that's just a temporary phenomena that a drop from a wave has for a short amount of time before it reemerges into itself. Anyway, you carry that with you, and just this idea of going after pleasure and resisting pain is just playing the game. It's playing the pretend game of you being a person. You see, and who wants to be involved in that? It doesn't lead to peace. Pleasure is not peace. Peace is knowing that pleasure and pain are the same, and being able to rest in that sense of what is all of the time. So I give you that for today, and we're going to have a break from the talks for a couple of weeks, so you can use this and hold it and be with it for until the next talk, and let's see how many of you can take your spare moments during this time and really witness life instead of diving into life like as a person. Just watch the person do what the person does, but don't get involved as a person, because you're not a person. Because I can tell you for a fact that we're all the same. That's a fact. That's the truest thing I've said today, that we are all one. There's no separation. The separation is just an appearance. It's a temporary appearance based in movement of time, movement of thought, movement of your heart beating. But it's just temporary. It's not who you are. You know, I'm telling you, we came from the same place. We're going to the same place. There is no separation. It's just an appearance. No need to get lost in that appearance. It's much more peaceful just to be. Okay.